Welcome back, JDM fam. Today we're replacing the alternator in the ES1 Honda Civic. The 7th gen needs a new alternator. What we're going to do is pull out this power steering pump as well as the reservoir. There's a wing bolt right here, and then we might be pulling off a mount or two over here. Like actually, we don't have to pull off this mount right here, the AC mount, but we do have to get the lower bolt to the power steering, which is right there as well. Once we get this out of the way, then we're going to start working on the alternator. This is a somewhat tedious task. You have to take off the belts as well as tighten them back up once you're putting it all back together. But this alternator is definitely seen better days. Look at this thing, guys. So this power steering pump did have a leak. It was somewhere over here. We ended up fixing it. Looks like could have possibly leaked, something could have possibly leaked over here as well. So what we did with this, if you guys don't watch the channel or haven't seen my videos from a year or two ago, the alternator actually grounds from the block. It backed out and it wasn't grounded, burnt out the ECU. So what you want to do on these cars is ground it yourself. Make sure that there's an alternate ground. So this alternator is always grounded, even if it ends up backing out. I use this one right here. We're going to obviously replace it on the new one. So let's get started. We're going to tear this apart, make sure that the new alternator is grounded, and make sure this ES1 Civic is running great. Okay, so the wing nut is out. The nut right there is out, as well as the one right down here, which is right there. So now all we have to do is basically lift it up and pull it to the right, and it's going to pull out. And we also, I believe we have to remove this reservoir mount as well before we can pull this all the way out. Once we get it out, we're going to pull it up on top of the valve cover, keep it up here while we work on the alternator. Okay, so now all of it is out of the way. All we had to do was undo this bolt, loosen it up, and pull this little mount to the top, and it just moved out of the way. You have to move the reservoir with the power steering pump. We're going to start working on the alternator. It looks like, I can't remember, but I believe there are, there's 2 bolts. There's one at the top right here, and there's a wing nut down there. I think that's all you have to do to loosen it up. So we're gonna loosen it up, take this belt off, and start unhooking the alternator. So there's I think like a 8 or a 10 millimeter on here that mounts this on, and there's a plug down here. So we're gonna start working on that right now, get it all taken care of and loosened up. I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're done. So now that it's out, we're going to swap out the mount to this other one. This is a pivot mount. If you guys listen to this old one, we still have the ground on here. We still need to pull it out. It is bent and cracked a little bit, but we're going to replace it on this one. Listen to this. This thing's like grinding. It sounds really bad. It sounded bad before. If you guys look at this one, listen to this one. Smooth as butter. One thing that I noticed is that when it's inside there, there's the wing nut, the bolt up here, and then there's a bolt at the bottom down here. You want to make sure to get this one down here. Now everything's back together. It's all bolted back up. We got the ground up on here. It's grounded straight to the engine. Well, it's going to be grounded straight to the engine. Alternator is back in. It's tightened up. It's all buttoned up. Belt's on already. So now all we have to do is put this back on. This is the easier one, and we're done. We'll be back once we're done. Yep. For lights. Now the car sounds so much better. So before it had a really bad grind, it was actually grinding pretty bad. It sounds so good. You can't even hear the valves. Alright guys, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. I'm gonna go take a shower and wash up. Check this out. Yeah, see you guys on the next video.